Hello, I'm Eric Lawler for Joe.ie, and I'm here in the presence of one of the biggest legends of Irish sport in the shape and form of the wonderful Mr. Packie Bonner. Packie Bonner, how are you?
Very good, thank you. And you just keep talking those good things now. That sounds really nice.
That's from the heart, Packie. That's from the heart. You gave me so many great memories over the years, and I'm indebted to you, basically indebted to you. But we're here to talk about something that's very close to your heart. First off, you're here to launch the golf classic for the Irish Spina Bifida. I can't remember that big word. Hydrocephalous Ireland. When is that taking place, Packie?
That's on the 22nd of August down at the K Club, and of course we're looking for teams to enter right now, so we can. And there is a big demand. But last year we had a great day down there, and we had such a special day. A lot of people are coming back again, but it's important from a point of view. It is a charity that's close to my heart because of family reasons, and I see the great work that the association does around the support that they give to people. The figures haven't changed. It's still, a lot of kids are born each year with it, and it's a lifelong condition, unfortunately. You don't get a cure from it. You can help them, you can make it better, but you're living with it, and it affects the family, and it affects the person, and the support around it from people and from the association and from everybody concerned around, and you only become aware of it when it sort of hits your own family. And that's what. But we must, and that's my role, and that's probably one of the great things that you can actually do when you make a save in a penalty shootout, is they can use it to make people aware of what's going on and what we're actually doing. So we're going to have a great day on the 22nd of August down in the K Club.
Great, and we'll make sure all the details will be on the site where people can try and enter for what promises to be an amazing day. We're in the midst of what's been I think an amazing World Cup out in Brazil at the moment, and penalty shootouts are happening, and obviously it must bring you back to that famous day in Genoa in 1990. Is there anything in particular that you remembered about that day? Obviously, apart from the save and the unbelievable celebrations afterwards, is there anything maybe prior to the game that you remember that sticks out in your mind?
Not so much prior. I can't remember. Obviously, we were on a bit of a high because we had qualified from the group. We had we had played Holland, and we sort of duped Holland a little bit because when it came to probably the last 15 minutes of that game, I think both teams decided, let's play out for a draw here a little bit. I can't say that out loud, but we did it. And there was a draw, incredibly, to see who was going to play either Germany or Romania.
Yeah.
And we won the draw almost by coming out against Romania. So that was probably what happened. And then, so we were kind of high in confidence because we probably had achieved our first goal of getting out of the group. We were actually doing okay. And personally, for me, I hadn't done too much in the tournament up till that. Played in the games, but I hadn't really achieved too much. So going in against Romania, the game, if you think back to the game and you watch the game again on video.
Packie, I need to interject there for 1 second there. You said you didn't do too much before that game. Well, I remember that kick out and that look in your eyes when you sent that ball up into the box against the Dutch and Niall Quinn scored. You could see from those eyes that something big was going to happen.
I could tell you a real story around that.
Come on, tell us.
But I will tell you that people say I was motivating the team, and come on, I was actually saying a bad word, swearing at Mick McCarthy.
Frustration.
Kept coming back trying to get a ball off me, and I was telling him to get up the pitch, as Jack sort of was almost indicating us, don't give the ball to Mick or Kevin because they can't really pass the ball out of the back, so we'll knock it along. So anyway, that's what I was doing, and I was swearing at Mick, so it came across as if I was motivating the team, but I'll go with the motivation. And then I kicked the ball probably longer because my adrenaline was flowing than normal. And Holland made the mistake, of course, in the back, and Van Broekelen, who was in goals, made a mistake, which can happen. But Niall was there to capitalise. But no, I didn't have a lot to do in those games and didn't really contribute to it. But the game against Romania, if you think back, Hadji was playing for them, and he was a world class player. A bit like the Maradona or the Messi of today of Argentina, who plays in the periphery a little bit and doesn't get too involved in the defensive side, does enough, but sits out and finds space, and then suddenly when they won the ball, they go and give it to him, and he's the one to make things. And that's what he was doing, and he was hitting shots from us as well. And I was on a high, so I was saving things. So, and as it was getting closer and closer, confidence was growing in that, and I felt that I had contributed, and I was on a high. And we had done our homework on the penalty shootout situation. Jerry Payton was a huge asset to me. He was the goalkeeper coach we had no goalkeeper coach, by the way. Not unlike now where they have probably goalkeeper coach, and many other coaches.
It's interesting you should say that, Packie. That's one of the questions I was going to ask you. It's like this day and age in modern football, there's so much analysis gone into the opposition teams, and even like the teams in the World Cup in Brazil. You know that every single player has been studied and which way they take their penalties. And I'm surprised, going back to 1990, that you had maybe some sort of a dossier about the Romanians.
It's difficult in a penalty shootout because what you have is you've got players who normally don't hit penalties coming up to hit penalties. So you might have one or two, if you're lucky, that would have hit the odd penalty. But in normal circumstances, you don't have that backup information. So you almost have to come up with a different model, a different way of approaching it. And myself and Jerry was brilliant because we sat down and we decided that we would watch them, the players stepping up. And whatever way that they ran up to the ball, then we decided that they were going to hit the ball into that side of the goal. And I had a little thing that I used to do. I used to go almost one way and then the opposite way. So to kid on the player also, to reinforce them to put it into that side. And if you look back at it, I went the right way for every single penalty.
Yeah.
And it only takes one penalty to be the right height, maybe not hit as hard as the other penalties. And that was the one that I saved. And then, of course, Dave had to step up and hit the
finish the job.
I would hate that job.
Really?
Of going up to hit a penalty. Wow, having to walk from the halfway line all the way up, and the emotion from the fans and everybody, and thinking about it. And I remember actually before the penalties, Kevin Sheedy was sitting down in the circle, and he was the only player I spoke to. Apart from Jerry, of course, and I went to him and says, Kevin, are you taking a penalty? He says, I'm taking the first penalty and I'm going to hit it straight down the middle of the goal. And that was 10 minutes before he actually took the penalty.
Oh, really?
And if you look at it, that's exactly what Kevin done.
He was
so
focused.
There's totally focused, total professional, and because he had this fantastic left foot on him, he could do it. And I might not have believed it if it was somebody else, but certainly Kevin was fantastic.
Who do you tip to win the World Cup?
Well, I tipped Brazil beforehand. I haven't changed my mind to a point, but the only other thing I would like to say is probably if a European team is going to win it for the first time outside of Europe, I think this could be the year. You've got two in there that I think, Germany, of course, because they haven't got a star player, but they've all got exceptional players, all can work together really well. Belgium have got momentum going. People didn't think that maybe they would handle the occasions that well, but they've got the squad of players, fantastic, and they can take, when Lukaku could come off the bench and use the strength and physique when the players are tired, which he did very well the other night. And we were worried in case they had lost Benteke that they may not have a striker, but the other young Origo, I think, has come with his pace. So he kind of softens them up for Lukaku to come off.
And Wilmots has been very clever in using the bench like that.
He's done well in the bench. The young player that scored a goal the other night, De Bruyne, I thought was a fabulous player. He looks very Irish, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he actually looks like Prince Harry.
He
does.
He does, and but he shows that he has got a big influence in the game. So I've been impressed. So if a European team, this could be the year. If something happens Neymar for Brazil, then they may struggle. If something happens Messi, they may struggle, and then it's wide open.
It's wide open, yeah. Packie Bonner, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thanks very much, and best of luck with the Golf Classic.
Good on you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.